The ship shook, lights flickered, alarms wailed. Lieutenant Ji-Soo Kang opened her eyes slowly. Her head hurt. Blood trickled down her face. She was on the floor of her lab. The emergency red lights cast strange shadows across the room. "Systems check," she said, her voice barely a whisper. The ship's computer responded in a flat tone. "Warning. Hull breach on decks 3 through 7. Life support at 42%. Crew life signs. 0 detected." Ji-Soo's heart skipped a beat. 0 life signs. That couldn't be right. "Run the scan again," she ordered. Scanning. 1 human life sign detected. Location: Research Lab 4. Identity: Lieutenant Ji-Soo Kang. She was alone. The entire crew of the science vessel Prometheus gone. Their mission had been humanity's last hope. A desperate attempt to find a weakness in the Vespid Armada, the alien force that had been crushing Earth's defenses for months. Ji-Soo pulled herself up, wincing at the pain in her ribs. The sealed lab doors had protected her during whatever disaster had struck the ship. She walked carefully to her workstation. The containment unit was still intact. Inside, a single Wasp moved slowly around its enclosure. This was no ordinary Wasp. Ji-Soo had spent months altering its genetic code, mixing in DNA taken from captured Vespid soldiers. Project Sting, they called it. A desperate attempt to fight the enemy with a weapon they wouldn't expect. Ji-Soo touched the screen to check the ship's logs. The final entry was from Captain Han. This is Captain Han's final log. "The Vespid fleet has broken through Earth's outer defenses. Our ship has been hit. Engine core unstable. I've ordered all hands to evacuation pods, but most sections are already breached. Lieutenant Kang remains in the sealed research lab with the specimen. If anyone finds this log, Earth has fallen. The Vespids have won. May God help us all." The message ended there. Ji-Soo felt her legs grow weak. She slumped into her chair, staring at the screen. Earth had fallen. It couldn't be. She pulled up external cameras. The view made her gasp. The Prometheus was drifting through a field of debris. Broken ships, shattered fighters. The remains of Earth's last defense fleet floated lifelessly in the void. In the distance, the blue-green glow of Earth was visible, but dark shapes moved across its surface. The Vespid ships, thousands of them, landing, invading. "This can't be happening," Ji-Soo whispered. She looked at the Wasp in the containment unit. It seemed to watch her, its movements more deliberate than a normal insect. The genetic modifications had worked better than expected. It showed signs of increased intelligence. It had survived when nothing else had. Just like her. Ji-Soo checked the ship's systems. The Prometheus was dying, but a small escape craft in Bay 2 still showed as operational. She could reach it if she moved quickly. She looked again at the Wasp. Her research was incomplete, but this specimen represented months of work. It might be humanity's last hope against the Vespids. "Looks like it's just you and me now," she said to the Wasp as she prepared the containment unit for transport. The ship shuddered again. More alarms blared. "Warning. Reactor core breach imminent. Estimated time to critical failure, 15 minutes. Ji-Soo grabbed her research tablet and the portable containment unit. She checked the ship's schematics. The route to Bay 2 would take her through damaged sections. She'd need a suit. She pulled an emergency spacesuit from the locker and put it on quickly. The Wasp seemed to watch her every move. "Don't worry," she told it. "We're not finished yet." With her helmet secured and the containment unit clutched to her chest, Ji-Soo opened the lab door. The corridor beyond was dark and filled with floating debris. The battle for Earth might be lost, but her own fight was just beginning. With one last look at her destroyed lab, Ji-Soo stepped into the darkness, carrying with her perhaps the last hope for humanity's survival. Ji-Soo moved carefully through the broken ship. Pieces of metal floated in the air. The lights were out in most places. Her suit's small light showed the way. 10 minutes until reactor failure, said the ship's voice. She had to hurry. The path to Bay 2 was blocked by a fallen beam. Jisoo climbed over it, holding the Wasp container tight. When she reached Bay 2, she found the small escape craft still in good shape. Jisoo opened the hatch and climbed inside. She placed the Wasp container in a secure spot and sat at the controls. "Computer, start escape sequence," she said. The small craft hummed to life. Lights came on. The computer began to run checks. "Warning, main ship will explode in 5 minutes." Jisoo worked fast. Her fingers moved over the controls, preparing the craft for launch. She had trained for emergency escapes, but never thought she would need to use that training. Launch sequence engage. Bay doors opening. The doors of Bay 2 slowly slid open. Beyond them was the darkness of space, and in that darkness, Jisoo saw movement. Vespid scout ships searching through the debris. "They're looking for survivors," she whispered. The Wasp in the container moved in circles, as if it sensed the danger too. Jisoo had named it Nell, the Korean word for flying. Now Nell seemed more alert than ever. "We need to be quiet," Jisoo told the computer. "Minimal power, no signals." The escape craft slipped out of the bay doors, just as another explosion rocked the main ship. Jisoo steered away, trying to hide among the floating pieces of destroyed ships. A Vespid scout flew past, its strange bug-like shape clear against the stars. Jisoo held her breath. The scout's lights scanned the area, but missed her small craft. 2 minutes until reactor failure, warned the computer. Jisoo checked her navigation system. Where could she go? Earth was lost. The moon bases would be the next targets for the Vespids. She needed someplace safe, someplace hidden. "Computer, set course for Phobos outpost." Phobos was a moon of Mars. The small human outpost there was secret, built inside the moon itself. If any humans had survived, they might be there. Course set. Warning. Journey will require multiple jumps. Fuel reserves at 78%. That would have to be enough. Jisoo looked back at the dying ship that had been her home. The Prometheus was breaking apart, flames shooting from its sides despite the vacuum of space. 30 seconds until reactor failure. Jisoo pushed the throttle forward. The escape craft shot away from the debris field. Behind her, the Prometheus exploded in a ball of light. The shock wave hit her craft, sending it spinning. "Stabilizing," said the computer as it corrected their course. Jisoo looked back one last time at Earth. Her home planet glowed blue in the distance, but now dark shapes moved across its surface. The Vespid ships were everywhere. Landing. Taking over. She turned to look at Nell in its container. The Wasp was watching her, its movements strange for an insect. It seemed almost thoughtful. "I need to study you more," Jisoo said to Nell. "You might be the key to fighting back." She opened her research tablet and began to read through her notes. The modifications she had made to Nell's DNA had worked better than expected. The Wasp showed signs of higher thinking. It could learn, and its sting contained a venom that might affect Vespid biology. But her research was incomplete. She needed more time and a safe place to work. An alert blinked on her screen. 3 Vespid scout ships had changed course. They were heading her way. "They've spotted us," Jisoo said. She pushed the craft's engines harder. Ahead was a field of asteroids. It was dangerous to fly through, but it might hide her from the Vespid scouts. "Computer, plot course through the asteroid field. Maximum stealth mode." As the small craft dived into the asteroid field, Jisoo looked at Nell one more time. "It's just you and me now," she said. "And somehow we need to find a way to save humanity." The Wasp fluttered its wings, as if it understood. 3 days later, Jisoo's small craft approached Phobos, the larger moon of Mars. The rocky moon looked like a potato in space. No one would guess that inside it was a secret human base. Phobos Outpost. This is Lieutenant Jisoo Kang of the science vessel Prometheus, requesting emergency landing, Jisoo said into the radio. At first, there was only static. Then a voice replied, Lieutenant Kang, this is Phobos Outpost. We read you. Please follow landing path being sent to your computer. Jisoo felt relief wash over her. She had made it. There were other humans still alive. Her craft followed the path to a hidden door on Phobos. The door slid open, revealing a landing bay inside the moon. Jisoo guided her craft inside, and the door closed behind her. When she stepped out, a group of people in military uniforms waited for her. A tall man with short gray hair stepped forward. Lieutenant Kang, I'm Commander Taiwan Park. Welcome to Phobos Outpost. He offered his hand. Jisoo shook it, but something felt wrong. The commander's hand was too cold. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Thank you, Commander. I have critical research from the Prometheus. We heard about Earth, said Taiwan. A terrible loss. Please, follow me. We need to debrief you. Jisoo took the container with Nell and followed the commander. They walked through tunnels cut into the rock of the moon. Other people nodded to them as they passed. Everyone seemed calm. Too calm for people who had just learned that Earth had fallen. They entered a small room with a table and chairs. Taiwan gestured for Jisoo to sit. Tell me about your research, Lieutenant, he said. Jisoo placed the container on the table. Inside, Nal moved in agitated circles. The Wasp had been calm during the whole journey, but now seemed upset. Project Sting, Jisoo began. We were trying to develop a biological weapon against the Vespids using their own DNA. Taiwan leaned forward. And this is the result. A wasp. A genetically modified wasp, yes. It shows signs of increased intelligence and its venom might be harmful to Vespids. Jisoo watched Taiwan carefully. Something was off about how he looked at Nell. His eyes showed too much interest, and Nell kept moving in upset patterns, tapping against the glass of its container. Impressive, said Taiwan. We should move your research to our main lab. Dr. Han is eager to see your work. Jisoo froze. Dr. Han. From Seoul University. Taiwan nodded. Yes, he joined us last month. Now Jisoo was sure something was wrong. Dr. Han had died a year ago in a Vespid attack on Seoul. She had attended his memorial service. She looked around the room, noticing small details she had missed before. A strange smell in the air. The way everyone's skin seemed slightly too tight. And now, still tapping frantically against the glass. Before we go to the lab, Jisoo said carefully, I'd like to freshen up. It's been a long journey. Of course, said Taiwan. Jinho will show you to a room. A young soldier led Jisoo down another hallway. When they were alone, Jisoo touched his arm. How long have you been stationed here? 2 weeks, he answered. Since right after the Vespids came. The Vespids came here? Jisoo asked, her heart racing. Jinho looked confused. No, He shook his head as if trying to clear it. Jisoo saw his eyes change. For a second, they looked like insect eyes. Then they were normal again. Your room is here, Jinho said flatly, pointing to a door. Once inside, Jisoo locked the door and sat on the bed, hands shaking. The outpost had been taken over. These weren't humans anymore. They were Vespid mimics, aliens who could take human form. And they wanted her research. Jisoo looked at Nell, still tapping on the glass. The wasp knew. Somehow it could sense the Vespids even in their human form. You're going to help me get out of here, she whispered to Nell. Somehow, she noticed a vent in the wall. It was small, but so was her escape craft. If she could reach the landing bay undetected, Jisoo began to plan her escape from what was no longer a human outpost. Jisoo worked quickly. She had only minutes before the Vespid mimics would come for her. She opened the vent cover and placed Nell's container inside. I need to get my tablet, she whispered to the wasp. Jisoo unlocked the door and peeked out. The hallway was empty. She moved quietly toward the meeting room where she had left her research tablet. As she reached the door, she heard voices inside. "The Wasp is the key," said Taiwan's voice. "If we can understand how she modified it, we can stop any future weapons against us." "What about the human?" asked another voice. "Once we have her research, we don't need her." Jisoo's heart pounded. She had to get her tablet and escape. She looked down at her pocket where she kept a small laser tool for lab work. It wasn't much of a weapon, but it was all she had. She burst into the room. Taiwan and another officer turned in surprise. Jisoo grabbed her tablet from the table. "Stop her!" Taiwan shouted. His face began to change, skin splitting to reveal insect features underneath. Jisoo fired her laser tool. It hit Taiwan in the eye. He screamed, a high alien sound. The other officer lunged at her, but Jisoo ducked and ran for the door. Alarms blared through the outpost. Jisoo sprinted down the hallway toward her room. She had to get back to the vent, back to Nell, back to her ship. Two guards appeared ahead. Their faces were half human, half Vespid, the disguise failing in their haste. Jisoo slid under their reaching arms and kept running. She reached her room and scrambled into the vent, grabbing Nell's container. The small space was tight, but she pushed forward on her elbows. The vent map she had seen on her tablet showed this would lead to the landing bay. Behind her, she heard the guards tearing at the vent entrance. They couldn't fit, but they would find another way to catch her. After 10 minutes of crawling, Jisoo reached the landing bay. She dropped down from the vent and ran to her craft. 6 guards stood around it. Jisoo ducked behind some crates. She was trapped. Then she looked at Nell and the container. The Wasp was tapping the glass in a pattern, pointing its body toward a larger ship across the bay. "A scout ship," Jisoo whispered. It would have better weapons and range than her small craft. But how could she reach it? Suddenly, Jisoo had an idea. She opened Nell's container just a crack. "Can you distract them?" she asked, feeling foolish talking to an insect. But Nell flew out and headed straight for the guards. It flew around their heads, stinging one in the neck. The guard screamed and fell to the ground, his skin bubbling where the sting had hit. The other guards panicked, swatting at the Wasp. Jisoo used the distraction to run toward the scout ship. Its door was open. She jumped inside and ran to the controls. "Come on now," she called. The Wasp flew in through the door just as Jisoo closed it. She started the engines as the guards realized what was happening. They fired their weapons at the ship, but it was too late. Jisoo found the launch controls. The bay doors above opened, and the scout ship shot up and out of Phobos. "Thank you," Jisoo said to Nell, who had landed on the control panel. She couldn't believe the Wasp had understood her and helped her escape. As the ship cleared Phobos, Jisoo checked the computer. "Computer, show me the coordinates of any known human settlements." The screen lit up with a single location. Europa colony. Classified. Europa was one of Jupiter's moons, a hidden colony that would be much farther from the Vespids. Jisoo set the course and engaged the engines. "Let's hope there are real humans there," she said to Nell. The Wasp tapped its legs on the panel, almost like it was typing. Jisoo looked closer. On the screen appeared the word, "Sanctuary." Jisoo stared at the Wasp in amazement. "You're more than I ever expected," she whispered. The ship accelerated toward Jupiter, leaving Mars and the Vespid-controlled outpost behind. Ahead lay their last hope for survival. The trip to Europa took 2 weeks. Jisoo spent the time studying Nell. The Wasp was not just smart. It could understand her. It could communicate. It was something new. The scout ship approached Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. On the surface, it looked empty. Just ice and cracks. "This is Lieutenant Jisoo Kang of the Prometheus science team, requesting landing at Sanctuary," Jisoo said into the radio. Silence. Then a woman's voice answered, "Identify yourself with code sequence." Jisoo didn't know any code. She looked at Nell, who tapped on the control panel. Numbers appeared on the screen. Code sequence 7-39-42. Jisoo read. A pause. Landing path sent to your ship. Follow exactly. The ship's computer guided them to a crack in the ice. It widened as they got closer. A hidden door. They flew inside to a large cave carved under the ice. When Jisoo stepped out of the ship, 20 guards pointed guns at her. "Weapons down," said a tall woman with gray hair pulled back tight. "I'm Director Hai-Jin Lee. Welcome to Sanctuary, Lieutenant Kang." "Thank you, Director," Jisoo said. "I have important research from the Prometheus." "So you said in your message," Hai-Jin replied. "Follow me." Jisoo followed Hai-Jin through the ice caves into a huge open space. Jisoo gasped. Under the ice was a city. Thousands of people lived in buildings with gardens and lights. The last big group of humans in the solar system. Hai-Jin led Jisoo to a meeting room where 5 people waited. "This is the Colony Council," Hai-Jin said. "Tell them about your research." Jisoo opened Nell's container. "This is Nell. A wasp I changed with Vespid DNA. It's smart. It can understand us. And its sting kills Vespids." A man with glasses stood up. "I'm Do-Hyun Kim, Chief Science Officer. How do you know its sting kills Vespids?" "I saw it on Phobos. The outpost there has been taken over by Vespid mimics. Nell stung one, and it died right away." The council looked worried. "Mimics? They can look like us now?" asked Hai-Jin. "Yes, but Nell can tell who is real and who is a mimic. It gets upset near Vespids, even when they look human." Do-Hyun came closer to look at Nell. "Amazing. We must study it right away." "No," said Hai-Jin. "This research is too dangerous. If the Vespids find us because of it, we all die. The research should be destroyed." "But Director," Jisoo said, "this could be our only chance to fight back." Do-Hyun nodded. "Jisoo is right. Let's at least study it first." The council voted, 3-2 in favor of continuing the research. Hai-Jin didn't look happy, but she agreed. "You'll work with Do-Hyun in the secure lab," she told Jisoo. "No one else knows about this research." For the next 3 weeks, Jisoo and Do-Hyun studied Nell. They found that Nell's venom attacked the Vespid nervous system. It could break their connection to the hive mind that controlled them. "If we could make enough of this venom," Jisoo said, "we could use it against all Vespids. And maybe even free humans who have been taken over," added Do-Hyun. Late one night, Jisoo went back to the lab to check on Nell. She heard voices inside. Do-Hyun was talking to someone on a radio. "Yes, I have the formula," he was saying. "The venom can be made in large amounts, but you have to promise that when you come, you'll spare this colony." Jisoo's blood ran cold. Do-Hyun was talking to the Vespids. "You know they won't keep that promise," Jisoo said, stepping into the room. Do-Hyun jumped and turned off the radio. "Jisoo, I can explain. The Vespids will win no matter what. This way, at least some of us can live as slaves," Jisoo said, "or worse, as hosts for their minds." Do-Hyun reached for a button on the wall. "I'm sorry, but I've made my choice." Before he could press it, a loud explosion shook the whole colony. Alarms began to sound. "What did you do?" Jisoo asked in horror. Do-Hyun looked scared. "Nothing. It's too early. They weren't supposed to come yet." "Colony alert," said a voice over the speakers. "We are under attack. Vespid ships have entered the Europa airspace. This is not a drill." The betrayal had begun. But the Vespids had not waited for Do-Hyun's signal. Sanctuary was under attack. Alarms blared throughout Sanctuary. People ran in panic. Red emergency lights flashed in the tunnels. "You betrayed us all," Jisoo shouted at Do-Hyun. "I was trying to save us," he yelled back. He lunged at the lab table, grabbing a data pad with their research. They want this. If I give it to them, maybe they'll still spare some of us. Jisoo jumped forward to stop him, but Do-hyun pushed her away. She fell hard against the wall. Nal's container crashed to the floor, its glass cracking. The lab door burst open. Director Hae-jin rushed in with 2 guards. The Vespids broke through the outer defenses, Hae-jin said. Then she saw Do-hyun with the datapad. What are you doing? Saving what's left of humanity, Do-hyun said. He pulled out a small gun. No, Jisoo shouted. But before Do-hyun could fire, Nal flew out of its broken container. The Wasp darted straight at Do-hyun and stung him on the neck. Do-hyun screamed and dropped both the gun and the datapad. His hand flew to his neck, where the skin began to turn dark. It stung me. Why did it sting me? He cried. Jisoo's eyes widened as she realized the truth. You're one of them. A mimic. Do-hyun's face began to change, his skin splitting to show the Vespid features underneath. He fell to his knees, making strange clicking sounds. Then he collapsed. He was working with them the whole time, Jisoo said to Hae-jin. Another explosion shook the colony. Closer this time. We need to leave, Hae-jin said. Grab your research and the Wasp. We have escape ships ready. Jisoo collected the datapad and held out her hand. Nal landed on it gently. Good job, she whispered to the Wasp. They ran through the tunnels of Sanctuary. All around them, people were rushing to evacuation points. Children cried. Parents carried what little they could. This way, said Hae-jin, leading them down a side tunnel. The main exits will be the first place the Vespids attack. They met 2 more people in the tunnel, a tall man with a security uniform and a small woman carrying tool bags. Lieutenant Kang, meet Min-ho Choi, head of security, and Soo-bin Yoon, our chief engineer, Hae-jin said. They'll help us escape. Where are we going? Jisoo asked. There's one more safe place, said Min-ho. A hidden base in the Kuiper Belt called Whisper. If any humans survive this, they'll go there. They reached a small hangar with a sleek ship inside. Soo-bin began the launch sequence. Director. A voice called from behind them. A group of colonists ran toward them, led by a young man. Please, take us with you. Hae-jin hesitated, then nodded. Quickly. As the colonists rushed forward, Jisoo noticed something strange. Nal became agitated on her hand. Wait, Jisoo shouted. Nal senses something wrong. But it was too late. The first colonist reached them, and suddenly changed. His face split open, revealing Vespid features. The others changed too. They weren't humans at all. It's a trap, Min-ho yelled, pulling out his weapon. The fight was brutal and quick. Min-ho shot 2 of the Vespids. Hae-jin grabbed a tool from Soo-bin's bag and stabbed another. Jisoo released Nal, who stung one of the mimics in the eye. But there were too many. A Vespid grabbed Hae-jin from behind. Go! Hae-jin shouted to Jisoo. Take the research and go. I'll hold them off. We can't leave you. Jisoo cried. That's an order. Hae-jin pushed Jisoo toward the ship. Then she pulled a small bomb from her pocket. For humanity. Min-ho dragged Jisoo onto the ship. Soo-bin closed the door and started the engines. Through the window, Jisoo watched as Hae-jin triggered the bomb. The explosion sealed the tunnel behind them as their ship shot out of the hangar into space. Outside, they saw the full horror. Dozens of Vespid ships surrounded Europa. The ice surface was broken in many places. Fires burned in the colony below. Sanctuary was falling. Set course for Whisper, Min-ho said quietly. As the ship accelerated away from Jupiter, Jisoo watched Europa grow smaller. Nal landed on her shoulder, as if trying to comfort her. We'll make them pay, Jisoo whispered. Somehow, the journey to Whisper took 8 days. 8 days of looking over their shoulders. 8 days of wondering if they were the last humans left in the solar system. Jisoo spent the time working in the ship's small lab, studying Nal and the venom samples they had made at Sanctuary. Minho kept watch for Vespid ships. Soo-bin fixed things on the ship that broke. "We're approaching the coordinates," Minho said on the 8th day. He pointed out the front window. Jisoo looked but saw nothing, just the blackness of space and distant stars. "There's nothing here," she said. Soo-bin smiled. "That's the point." She sent a signal from the ship. Suddenly, the emptiness in front of them shimmered. A large asteroid appeared, as if by magic. "Cloaking technology," Soo-bin explained. "The best we have." A small opening appeared in the asteroid. Minho guided their ship inside. They landed in a hangar much like the one on Europa, but smaller. A group of people in military uniforms waited for them. A man with a serious face stepped forward. "I'm Admiral Junho Kwon. Welcome to Whisper." Jisoo, Minho, and Soo-bin followed the Admiral through the base. Whisper was much smaller than Sanctuary. Maybe 200 people lived here. All of them looked tired but determined. "We've lost all contact with Europa," Admiral Kwon said. "We feared everyone there was dead. Almost everyone is," Jisoo said quietly. "Director Hai-jin died helping us escape." They'd reached a meeting room. Admiral Kwon turned to them. "Now, tell me why you're here." Jisoo placed her data pad on the table. "I have research from the Prometheus science vessel about Vespid biology. And I have Nal." She opened her hand. Nal sat on her palm, wings twitching. "A wasp?" the Admiral asked, looking confused. "A genetically modified wasp with Vespid DNA," Jisoo explained. "Its venom kills Vespids and can identify mimics. It might be our only chance to fight back." The Admiral studied Nal for a long moment. "Show me everything." For the next few hours, Jisoo explained her research. She showed how Nal's venom attacked the Vespid nervous system, how it broke the connection to their hive mind. "If we could make enough of this venom," she said, "we could use it as a weapon against all Vespids." "How much do you have?" asked the Admiral. "Enough for maybe 10 doses," Jisoo admitted. "We need a proper lab to make more." Admiral Kwon nodded. "You'll have it. But there's something else you should see first." He led them to another part of the base. As they walked, Jisoo noticed the walls were different here. Not rock, but metal. They entered a huge space filled with ships. "Our fleet," said the Admiral. 20 stealth ships with the best weapons we have left." Jisoo gasped. "I thought all our ships were destroyed." "Not all. We've been hiding, gathering strength, waiting for something to give us a fighting chance." He looked at Nal. "Maybe this is it." Over the next week, Jisoo worked with the base's scientists to make more venom. They created a spray that could be used in air systems. They made bullets coated with it. They filled grenades with it. Nal helped, somehow knowing which formulas worked best. The Wasp would tap on containers, guiding the scientists. "It's ready," Jisoo told Admiral Kwon after 10 days. "We've made enough venom weapons for the whole fleet." "Good," said the Admiral, "because I've made a decision. We're not going to hide anymore." He showed Jisoo a map of the solar system. A red dot blinked near Earth. "What's that?" Jisoo asked. "The Vespid mothership," said the Admiral. "The center of their hive mind. They've moved it into orbit around Earth." Jisoo understood immediately. "If we could get the venom into that ship," the Admiral nodded, "it would affect all Vespids connected to it." "But how do we get close? They'll see us coming." "Not if we use the stealth ships," said Minho, who had joined them. "And we have something they don't expect." "What's that?" asked Jisoo. Minho smiled grimly. "You and your Wasp." Admiral Kwon placed his hand on the map. "I'm calling it Operation Sting. One chance to save what's left of humanity." Jisoo looked at Nal, who seemed to be watching the map with interest. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow," said the Admiral. It's time to take back our home. 20 black ships moved silently through space. They gave off no heat, no light, no signals. Like shadows, they approached Earth. Jisoo stood on the bridge of the lead ship, looking at the blue planet ahead. Earth looked peaceful from far away, but she knew better. The Vespids were down there, taking over everything. "There it is," said Admiral Kwan, pointing to a massive shape moving into view. The Vespid mothership was huge, like a giant wasp nest floating in space. It was bigger than any human ship ever built. Smaller Vespid ships flew around it like real wasps around their hive. "Are you ready?" the Admiral asked Jisoo. She nodded, touching the small container where Nal rested. "We're ready." The plan was simple but dangerous. The fleet would create a distraction. Meanwhile, Jisoo, Min-ho, and Soo-bin would take a small, modified shuttle to the mothership. They would find the central air system and release the venom. If it worked, it would spread through the whole ship and break the Vespids' connection to their hive mind. "Fleet in position," said a voice over the radio. "Ready on your mark." Admiral Kwan looked at Jisoo. "May your ancestors watch over you." "And yours," she replied. Jisoo, Min-ho, and Soo-bin boarded their small shuttle. It was made to look like a Vespid scout ship from the outside. Soo-bin had built it using parts from the ship they stole from Phobos. "Remember, we have 1 hour," said Min-ho as they launched. "After that, the fleet pulls back, with or without us." Their shuttle moved toward the mothership just as the human fleet attacked from the other side. Explosions lit up space. Vespid ships rushed to defend the mothership. "It's working," said Soo-bin. "They're distracted." Their shuttle reached the mothership without being stopped. They found a small loading dock and landed. The dock was empty. All Vespids had gone to fight. "Let's move," said Min-ho, checking his weapon. They stepped into the mothership. The inside was strange, not like human ships. The walls looked like they were made of paper and wax, like a real wasp nest. The air was warm and smelled sweet. "This way," said Jisoo, looking at a map on her tablet. "The central air system should be 3 levels down." They moved carefully through the ship. They had to hide several times as Vespid soldiers ran past. Nal stayed in its container, but Jisoo could tell it was excited. It could sense they were in the heart of the enemy nest. As they went deeper into the ship, they began to see something terrible. Large rooms filled with clear tubes. Inside each tube was a human, floating in green liquid. "What are they doing to them?" Soo-bin whispered in horror. Jisoo checked her scanner. "These humans are still alive, but their brains are connected to the Vespid hive mind. They're using them like living computers." "We need to hurry," said Min-ho. "We can help them all by completing the mission." They found a lift that took them down to the lower levels. When the doors opened, they were met by 3 Vespid soldiers. The fight was fast. Min-ho shot one. Jisoo used her venom spray on another. But the third grabbed Soo-bin. "Run!" Soo-bin shouted as the Vespid dragged her away. "We have to help her," Jisoo cried. "We will," said Min-ho, "by completing the mission." They ran through more halls and finally reached a large room with huge fans and pipes. The central air system. "This is it," said Jisoo. "We need to release the venom here." As she set up the containers of venom, more Vespids attacked. Min-ho fought them off, but he was hit badly in the chest. "Min-ho!" Jisoo ran to him. "Finish it," he gasped, blood on his lips. "I'll hold them back." Min-ho pushed himself up against the door, blocking it with his body. He fired his weapon at any Vespid that tried to enter. Jisoo worked fast, tears in her eyes. She connected the venom containers to the air system. Just as she was about to activate it, a louder alarm began to sound. "Warning," said a strange voice through the ship's speakers. "Intruders detected in environmental control. All units respond." "Hurry," Min-ho shouted, still firing. "We're out of time." Jisoo's finger hovered over the button that would release the venom. One push, and Operation Sting would begin. Jisoo pushed the button. The venom began to flow into the air system of the mothership. Now they just had to wait for it to spread. "It's done," she told Minho. But Minho didn't answer. His eyes were closed. His gun had fallen from his hand. Jisoo checked his pulse. Nothing. "Thank you, my friend," she whispered. Suddenly, the room shook. The lights went out, then came back on with a red glow. Something was happening to the ship. Jisoo's radio crackled. "Lieutenant Kang, this is Admiral Kwon. What's your status?" "The venom is in the system," Jisoo replied. "But Subin was captured and Minho is." She couldn't finish. "We see strange activity on the mothership," said the Admiral. "Something big is happening. You need to get out now." "I'm on my way," Jisoo said. She turned to leave but stopped. The door was opening. Jisoo raised her weapon, ready to fight. But what came through the door made her freeze. It wasn't a Vespid soldier. It was something much bigger, much more terrifying. The Vespid Queen. She was huge, 3 times taller than a human. Her body was like a giant wasp with arms and legs. Her eyes were black and cold. She wore something like a crown on her head. "Human," the Queen said, her voice somehow inside Jisoo's mind. "You think your poison will stop us?" "It's already working," Jisoo said, trying to sound brave. "Look around you." The ship was shaking more now. Alarms were going off. Through the door, Jisoo could see Vespids falling to the floor, their bodies shaking as the venom broke their connection to the hive mind. "You are clever," the Queen admitted, "but it doesn't matter. I can still control them all directly. And soon, I will control you too." The Queen stepped closer. Jisoo fired her weapon, but the Queen barely noticed. She knocked the gun from Jisoo's hand. "We were like you once," the Queen said. "Weak, alone. Then we became the hive. We became strong. You could join us. Be part of something greater." "Never," Jisoo said. "Humans are meant to be free." "Freedom is loneliness," said the Queen. "But I can free you from that." The Queen reached for Jisoo's head. Jisoo tried to back away but hit the wall. She was trapped. Then she remembered now. The wasp was still in its container on her belt. With shaking hands, Jisoo opened it. "There's just one thing you should know," Jisoo said to the Queen. "I'm not alone." Nell flew out of the container. The small wasp seemed tiny compared to the massive Queen. But it flew straight at her, faster than Jisoo had ever seen it move. The Queen tried to swat it away, but Nell was too fast. It landed on the Queen's neck and stung her. The effect was immediate. The Queen screamed, a terrible sound that filled Jisoo's mind. The Queen's body began to shake. She fell to her knees. "What? What is this?" The Queen gasped. "Evolution," Jisoo said. "You changed to become stronger. So did we." The Queen collapsed to the floor. Her connection to the hive mind was broken. All around the ship, Vespids were falling, confused and lost without the Queen's control. Jisoo's radio came to life again. "Lieutenant, the Vespid ships are stopping. What did you do?" "It wasn't me," Jisoo said, watching as Nell flew back to land on her hand. "It was Nell. The wasp killed the Queen." Jisoo made her way back to the shuttle, passing confused Vespids who no longer tried to attack her. Their minds were their own now, but they had no idea what to do with that freedom. As she flew away from the mothership, Jisoo saw the human fleet moving in. Without the hive mind, the Vespids couldn't fight as one. The battle was turning. "We did it. Now," Jisoo said to the wasp resting on her shoulder. "We really did it." 6 months later, Jisoo stood on a hill overlooking a rebuilding city on Earth. Humans were returning home. The Vespids who survived were changed. Without their queen and hive mind, they became individuals. Some even helped the humans rebuild. Admiral Kwon had asked Jisoo to lead a new research team. They were studying the Vespid biology, making sure this could never happen again. And they were learning from Nell and its children, a new breed of wasps that helped protect the recovering human settlements. They came as a swarm, Jisoo said, looking at Nell as it rested on a flower nearby. But they fell to a single sting. No one had survived the Vespid sting, except her and the wasp. And together, they had saved humanity.